Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be ranking the top 10 best power forwards in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM, including gambling cards. And there are some really good gambling power forwards. A couple non-gambling cards on this list as well. There's like 4 of the 6, or 4 of the 10, I should say, are non-gambling, so that's good. But as a whole, I do think the gambling cards still kind of dominate this position, at least to a certain extent, and there are definitely some really good ones. So, before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 25,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. Let's not waste any time. Start off with number 10, which is going to be Mr. Chris Bosh. So starting off with a gambling card, and a good one at that. A just really solid release, and honestly just does everything well. When you look at the stats and badges, he's super complete, super good. Shoots, defends, dunks, all at an elite level, has good speed, can put the ball on the floor a bit as well. Release is super nice. Sigs are actually pretty good, decent escape, hard behind the back, MJ dribble style. Like, he moves okay. As a whole, really solid card. Big fan of what Bosh gives you, and honestly, I don't mind his release whatsoever, especially on very quick. I know it's not quite as good as it's been in previous years, but I still think it's quite good, and I definitely think this card is really, really good in my team. So, big fan of what you can get out of Chris Bosh. Now, number 2 is going to be, or sorry, not number 2. Number 9 is the first non-gambling power forward, being Bam Adebayo. I know he's only 6'9". He's got one of the very best releases in the game, period, especially for a big man, I think, in terms of how just smooth and easy to green it is. So that combined with super solid shooting badges, great dunking ability, and great defense, in addition to solid playmaking as well, is super nice. He moves better than a guy like Chris Bosh as well. I mean, he's got the same behind the back, but Kobe escape, Kobe dribble style. Really good release as well. He's just, I think, honestly, a better version of a guy like Chris Bosh. Similar movement, but slightly better for Bam. I think defensively he's a little better. He's a little faster. Yes, he's 2 inches shorter. As a whole, though, I think he's the better card, despite being a Galaxy Opal and Bosh being a Dark Matter. Now, number 8 is going to be a Mecha Okafor. This card is really, really nice as a shooter as well. Great release, 6'10" power forward, a lot of completeness, can put the ball on the floor pretty well. Could use some shooting badges, Agent 3 blinders, Deadeye, limitless open looks, and I'm putting him on this list, as well as handles for days also. I'm putting him on this list this high, assuming that you added those badges to him. And honestly, with those badges added, a 3-point shoot, he is a monster. Really good release, can put the ball on the floor again well with that hard behind the back Kobe escape. Kind of similar stakes to the last couple guys. I just think he's a better all-around card, slightly better stats and badges. I mean, both those guys are also really, really good, but I love the MPJ based on Mecha, and I think number 8's a pretty fair spot for him. Number 7 is going to be Bill Russell, who, just like a Mecha Okafor, needs badges to really reach his peak, in addition to also only having an 80 base 3-ball, but also similarly to a Mecha, and honestly even better than a Mecha. He is an insanely elite defender who is super duper fast and super versatile, and dunks the ball at a super high level, not to mention having great sigs. Jamal Murray behind the back, John Wall's drag back, D-Book dribble style, and a really good release that, yes, has a little bit of a janky upper, but as a whole is a great jump shot. And as a whole, Bill Russell is definitely one of the better power forwards in the game, and I do think he is basically a better version of an Emeka Okafor. Kwame Brown is who I have at number 6. Unbelievable release, but height-wise, just doesn't quite match the top guys, and the reason those guys are at the top is mainly because of height. I say that. I almost think I'd rather have Kwame than some of these guys, but I don't know, man. It's hard to actually make a list like this because I almost don't even want to include a guy like KP and Wimby, but I do feel like I got to include him because people are running him more and more at power forward positions as well. So, like Kwame, he's an amazing shooter, really good release, very similar to guys like Bill and Emeka with an elite release, Kyrie dribble style, Kemba escape. Does a lot of things really well, off limitless on the base card. Card's a stud, and honestly, he deserves to be higher than this, and I don't care. I'm putting him there in number 5. Number 6 is going to be Wembanyama. I understand he's 7'4". His release is not that good. And yes, he has Pro 2 fade. Yes, he's the best center in the game. Yes, if you're cheesing and mashing, he is going to be more effective than a guy like Kwame Brown. But Kwame has a better release. Kwame has better movement. Kwame at power forward can be just as good, if not a little bit better than Victor Wembanyama in the hands of a skillful player. And I do believe this isn't a horrible list. And I don't want it to be completely dominated by size because I don't think this game needs to be completely dominated by size. Now, with that being said, KP is also an incredible popper like Kwame. Better release than a guy like Wemby, and definitely better shooting stats and badges as a whole, although Wemby is still very good. As a whole, though, this KP card is really versatile. He's 7'3". Again, you just can't argue against that level of size, but I think he gives you more shooting ability than Wemby does as well. And between those two things, with a release that I like better and stuff, it gives me the slight edge to KP versus not quite the slight edge to Wemby over Kwame. But at the end of the day, I mean, this is all pretty much opinion, and I think you could definitely make an argument that things go the other way as well. Now, Number 3, it's going to be Nate Thurmond. This card I truly do believe is better than both KP and Wimby 100%. I don't care that he's only 6'11", 7'2" wingspan release that I think is better than both of their releases. Yes, he needs shooting badges added, but everything else is super complete, elite level defender. And he's got a decent player build. 6'11", 7'2" wingspan, good player build, great defender, really, really good release as well. And then Kyrie dribble style, Trey escape, Jamal Murray behind the back, John Wall drag back, Pro 2 fade. The best animations of any power forward in my team. In all honesty, even number 3 sometimes feels a little low. This Nate Thurmond card is that good. He is an absolute stud, but I do think you can't put him any higher than number 3 because number 2 and number 1 are just on a slightly different level. Now, number 2 is Bol Bol. I understand if you want to put Nate Thurmond over Bol Bol. My thing about Bol Bol is he has the playmaking ability that Wimby and KP just don't quite have, I think, in addition to the just badge versatility, off handles for days, that type of stuff. While he's not quite the defender and interior player that KP and Wimby are, he's still 7'2" at power forward with good speed, great shooting, great release, great movement, just very glitchy and very good. And I don't know, putting him at number 2 almost feels like, because there's part of me that almost wants to put him at like number 5 and move everybody else down a little bit. But it's just, it's so tight and so close together. It does very much become a matter of opinion, I think, in a lot of ways. And for me, Bol Bol's playmaking ability at the power forward position, in addition to still having that elite level size and shot creation and shot making ability, is the reason I put him at number 2. Number 1, though, is not that debatable, and it's Dikembe Mutombo, because there's just nobody in the game who can really compete with 7'2", near perfect stats and badges in every area except for shooting and even very good shooting and the best big man release in the game. Hard to compete with that. You badge him out with the few badges that he's missing that are semi-important, like Agent 3 and handles for days. This card is absolutely insane in pretty much every way and does everything on the court well. He is the best power forward, best center, best whatever in the game, gambling or not, regardless, I think, when it comes to these positions right now. But I will say at the end of the day, like, I mean, besides Thurmond, the top 5 is all gambling cards. Well, actually, that's not true because Dikembe's free. And Dikembe being free is obviously a massive W, just like Glenn Rice being free and some of the free point guards and stuff. But you do need more in certain areas to really, I think, be for the game to be okay with this level of gambling content. But outside of Dikembe and technically Nate Thurmond, the rest of the top 5 is all gambling. Bill Russell is free. He's not available anymore. Bam Adebayo is free, still available. And then everybody else is still a gambling card, which is not ideal. And again, I hate the gambling. I really wish it would go away. It is so incredibly frustrating. But at the end of the day, as a MyTEAM content creator, there is only so much that I can do. So, I mean, I am, to a certain extent, so reliant on this game. So, unfortunately, got to keep making certain videos and talk about this gambling content sometimes. And you know what? It is what it is. At the end of the day, the power forward position is actually pretty good, and it's got a decent mix of non-gambling content. So I can't complain about the power forward position as much as I would shooting guard, small forward, or even center, which y'all will see non-gambling center here in just a little bit. Actually, that already came out, I think, when you're watching this video, and I'm not going to lie, that list is rough. So definitely keep that in mind. Power forward's not that bad, honestly, when it comes to non-gambling options, but obviously some incredible gambling-only options as well. Well, with that being said, that is going to do it for this video. I hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.